Howdy y'all. In this video we'll be going over measuring tape basics part 7, and we're going over difference between these two types of measuring tapes. So we'll actually be comparing these two. They may not look very different right here. So obviously this one has fractions, this one doesn't. You may also notice that this one has extra little dashes. These are not to scale. I just drew these up so you can all see the difference. They are supposed to portray 1/2 inch of a measuring tape. So this 25-foot Stanley fractional measuring tape, if y'all can see that, it does have the fractions in there. So that would portray this one. We got our 1/8, quarters, and halves. I did go down to 16ths just so it looks a little bit more detailed. This one though, our Stanley 16-inch, does not have any fractions on there. We have our inches naturally, but we do not have fractions written out. It does go down to a 32nd, which is what this one portrays. So 25-foot actually does not have the 16ths on it, but our 16-foot non-fractional written out has going down to a 32nd. Me personally, I'm going to go down as far as I can with the little dashes, with our increments. I have no need for any of these because basically before I knew math, I knew how to read a measuring tape. I know that sounds corny or goofy, but it feels like it's true. I grew up measuring things, working on projects, even when I was itsy bitsies. So this one here, it will help those that are trying to measure and they don't know what the different lines mean. So instead of going down to 16th, it does go down to an 1/8. So if someone's measuring, they can go, as an example, 3 inches and 5/8. So 3 and 5/8 inches, or 7 and 1/4 inches, what have you. For me, I can just look at this one, measure something, and go along, and I know where I'm at. I would recommend that if you are getting onto a job and you don't know these right at first, I would recommend this fractional just to start off. So that way you can measure something and you can write it down. Or if you're trying to cut something, you can find your measurement and you go to it and you draw your line at it and you can cut it. But I would use that very sparingly, and I would try to transition to this kind of measuring tape that does not have any numbers, so it'll look like this. I'd recommend transitioning to that as soon as possible, because when you're trying to add or subtract fractions, this is not going to help you basically at all. It could in a minor fashion, but not too much. If you can read this and then do your adding subtracting, you will be golden on that. So if y'all are trying to get into a job and you need to start out with this, that's perfectly fine. But do try and study how to read a measuring tape that has no numbers, and then work on your addition and subtraction of fractions. Then you will not need this measuring tape anymore, because this could be crippling for a job and for furtherment in a company. If you know this and you know your addition, subtraction of fractions, that will be extremely beneficial and put you ahead of a lot of folks. Surprisingly, a lot of folks getting the trades don't know how to read a measuring tape. We'll be getting more into that later, but for the basics, there are fractional measuring tapes that do have it written out, and then there are ones that do not. So in case some of y'all are looking at this and have no clue what it is, and you need to be on a job site with a measuring tape, y'all can probably go to Lowe's or Home Depot and get something like this that will help you out quite a bit, but probably also buy one of these just to help out. And that will be the most beneficial, in my opinion, long term. So that is the video for today. Hope you all enjoyed it. We got more coming up in the future, as we've been talking about. So if you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and like it. If you want to see more like it, go ahead and subscribe. Share this with your buddies. They're also trying to learn. We're trying to reach out and help as many folks as possible. And let me know what y'all think of it. Write down something in the comments. Curious to hear y'all's thoughts, what you all want to see in future videos, and we will see y'all in those future videos. Stay safe on the job site, y'all.